behalf of Solar Quarter in First View Group to our today's webinar on switch disconnectors selection and applications in solar PV projects. Hope you had a good time networking with your peers today. We'll have those networking sessions again at the end of the session. Now it's time to start with our webinar. But before that, I take the pleasure to thank our partner, HPL Electric and Power Limited, for extending their immense support to organize this event. Now, I request my team to start playing the sponsor video.
Brand of India in 1992, HPL Technological Brand of India in 1992, HPL has delivered quality technology and innovation, electrifying communities all across the nation and proudly endorsing Made in India. With 50% market share in on-load changeover and 20% market share in electronic energy meters, HPL is among the most trusted electrical brands in India. We have our presence across 5 key verticals: metering solutions, switch gears, lighting solutions, wires and cables, modular switches, and solar solutions. Under our visionary leadership, HPL is committed to providing progressive solutions for customers from various segments: residential and commercial users, public and private enterprises, city infrastructures, power utilities, and international markets. Our great growling engines. HPL has 7 ISO and OHSAS certified state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities in Gurgaon, Sonipat, Karnal, Kundli, and Jabli. Our production facility house has a range of highly integrated setup, including electronic manufacturing, LED driver manufacturing plants, PCM manufacturing, molding shops, tool rooms, advanced machine shops and press shops, electroplating and paint shops, high-speed wire drawing machines and extruders, injection molding machines, and 7-tank panel fabrication machines manned by over 1,900 plus workforce, 2 R&D centers, 90 branches and representative offices, and 21 warehouses across the country. Rethinking the limits of innovation. Approved by the Ministry of Science and Technology of India, HPL's R&D wing is manned by over 100 engineers and researchers who have been driving significant breakthroughs over decades. Some of the examples of our revolutionary research and development include new energy-efficient LED products, prepaid and smart metering, auto transfer switches, and a new range of O-Safe MCB. HPL is also at the core of the government's large-scale plans such as the Bachat Lamp Yojana, EESL, and Department of Electronics and Information Technology, transforming the electrical landscape in India. Our premium range of electronic products speak for their own quality and durability. With all products conforming to the ISI, ISO, CE and KEMA standards, our offerings are unmatched in the electrical industry. Switch gears. HPL manufactures almost 1 million MCBs per month in addition to ELCB and ACCL, and a wide range of distribution boards. The industrial range of HPL is well known for tested and proven products such as IntelliProtect range, air circuit breakers up to 6300 amperes, thermal magnetic and microprocessors based MCCBs, and final distribution products. In domestic, our range of products starts with O-Safe, a premium end of MCB inspired by European styling and manufactured by best in quality materials. Techno N MCB 0.5 to 63 amperes. Techno MCB decked with mid-rib technology and Rakshak MCB with 0.5 to 80 amperes MCB and isolators up to 125 amperes. With the motto of where art meets the state of the art, HPL modular switches make a mark in the industry for their laudable looks, performance and reliability. They appeal to a wide range of users due to its simplified product designs and form factor. With multiple colors and hues, these switches easily blend with contemporary and traditional interior spaces. Wires and cables. In this segment, HPL offers a complete solution including fire retardant cables, fire retardant low smoke cables, fire survival cables for domestic and industrial applications. These include PVC induced wires and cables, specialty cables manufactured at HPL including domestic wires, power and control cables, solar cables, CCTV cables, flat elevator cables, coaxial cables, submersible cables, flexible multi-strand and multi-core cables, telephone wires and cables, meters. HPL is one of the largest manufacturers of static energy meters in India. With an installed base of over 50 million meters, we are leading the metering sector by manufacturing over 25,000 meters per day. HPL today offers one of the largest metering and measuring solutions in India, including prepayment metering solutions, smart metering solutions, single-phase and three-phase metering solutions, panel meter and multifunction meter. Lighting. HPL lighting solutions are commendable for their energy savings and green quotient or GQ. HPL Electric stands amongst the first 5 brands in the country for its lighting solutions. As the complete solution providers, HPL offers LED for consumer usage, downlighters, commercial purposes, LED deco frosted lamps, LED bulbs, LED baton, LED panels, outdoor lights and retail lighting. Solar. As the concern about climate changes rises, the electrical industry is shifting its focus on solar energy at a rapid pace. In light of this, HPL has also come up with its lineup of solar products that can cater to every need and various sectors. A few of our offerings include string monitoring box, 1500 volts, AC combiner box, 800 volts AC, LT panel, 800 volts AC, integrated solar street light up to 80 watt.
Responsibility finds a way. Customer safety is our major priority. To ensure our customers have a safe experience with our products, we have ensured conformity to quality standards. Our automated manufacturing setup and in-house testing labs minimize errors and ensure quality throughout the manufacturing and testing stages. With export in over 42 countries and footprint in every continent, HPL proudly stands as a strategic partner for many organizations. With a force of over 1,900 plus hardworking individuals, we are always ready to innovate a new tomorrow. HPL.
Thank you, team, for playing the video. Now, without any delay, I would like to proceed and I'd like to invite to hear a few lines from Mr. Shivesh Mishra, who is the Deputy Manager Techno Commercial from HPL Electric and Power Limited. Over to you, sir.
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of HBL, I would like to welcome all our attendees and panelists for the session today, which is about the switch disconnector selection and application in solar PV project. Switch disconnector basically is one of the key components which we have seen in the last couple of years, which is a part of the BOS components of the solar PV project and widely used in utility scale PV projects and some part of the rooftop categories as well. And we have in the last couple of years we have done a good business in the category of SCVs and SMBs. So where the switch disconnector is the one of the key components for the same. So as a part of that, as a switchgear manufacturer, so we have planned to establish our own setup to manufacture the testing and manufacturing facility in-house our factory based at Kundli under the Make in India program initiated by PM of India. So this is the basic intro about switch disconnector, why we have come into the products in this category. So now I would like to introduce our panelists. It's our immense pleasure to welcome and introduce the panelists for the session. Very first, I would like to welcome Mr. S.S. Mishra, GM NTPC. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. And along with Mr. Rajesh Tiwari, who is the Chief Manager Design Solar Grid at Hero Future Energies. Thanks for joining us, sir. And Mr. Sushil Goyal, Head of the Procurement at O2 Power. And from our HPL team, Mr. GN Sharma, Chief Vice President, HPL Electric and Power Limited. So now moving further ahead, I would like to invite GN Sharma sir for presentation on switch disconnector and further details about the same. Hand over to Mr. GN Sharma sir.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm just giving you some slide presentation, and after that we will discuss these things in detail. So next, yeah, as everybody knows that we have a 50-year-old manufacturing experience for electrical products, and we have two R&D centers, especially one for switchgear and one for energy metering solutions, where we keep on developing new products and try to serve the market best of our abilities and try to provide best products and services to the market. Apart from that, we have a workforce of more than 1200 people and more than 900 plus distributors, and we have huge coverage of retailers through which we can give a lot of products to end customer along with the servicing network also on all India basis. Now we had entered into the line of solar PV application products in last 3 years, and then we started developing products for rooftops and then going to powerhouses with the help of most of the people available in this webinar. We have started manufacturing string combiner boxes, monitoring boxes, lighting solutions, AC combiner boxes, LT panels, net metering, static meters, fuse boxes, and isolator boxes. All these for various solar applications and various lighting applications related to solars, and we had been quite successful in delivering and giving good service to the customers in last 3 years. Then solar is such a line where the testing facilities in India is very limited. So we developed a lot of in-house facilities to verify these products at our end. So we have live simulator test bed which can immediately check the functionality of combiner boxes, high voltage testing, IR testing, various torque testing, pull test, temperature rise test for DC applications, and over and above that, we have developed a electrical lab which can generate 1500 volt DC and a rated current up to 630 amps, which is first of its kind in India. Because developing these products, the major bottleneck is how to test and how to verify these products. And unfortunately, the laboratories in India are not equipped with these kind of voltages who can do the testing of these products in-house and or even in India. So difficulty is when you develop a product, how to test it, how to correct it again and again. So our first task was to develop the testing lab in-house, which we successfully completed. And after that, we started working on development of our switchgear products suitable for these combiner boxes. Next please. Then we have developed these disconnector switches. Again, there was a competition from MNCs and the big drive of Government of India to make product in India and supply in India, so that supply bottlenecks are over and we can give better service to the consumers. So we develop these DC switches and keep testing them in our own laboratory and reach to a level where a great satisfaction was achieved, that now these products can work very well with us. And we have continuously, after innovation of more than 2 years, we came out with commercial launch of these products today. Next slide. We have developed these disconnectors in two different models. One is suitable for 1000 volts and another range is suitable for 1500 volts. Again, we have developed the disconnector current range starting from 100 amps up to 630 amps in two pole, and same in 1500 volts from 100 amps to 630 amps as per latest reference standard IEC 60947 part 3. So these products are thoroughly tested in our own laboratory, and later on we send these products to overseas market to Intertech for testing and validation of the product, and we got the certification which we'll be sharing you in the later slides. These kind of products are suitable for voltage application 1000 and 1500 volts. Multiple poles switching is available, and we can proudly say that service of these switches when they will go into the fields will give complete satisfaction to the customer. These disconnectors are front operated with all kinds of safety aspects we have taken for solar application. They are quick make break, single-handed operated products. We already have these kind of products for AC application from last more than 20 years, which we had quite successful and handling the market, and our market share, as I explained earlier, is quite high in this product range in AC segment. So it was a natural product for us, and we had done various small changes for DC application, considering because we were developing these combiner boxes and doing the installation, and where we have realized a lot of difficulties faced by customers in assembling these products, addition of extra cost in combiner boxes, and field problems. So we have tried to solve many of these problems in our own products. Next slide, please. Next. So we have tried to give various kinds of accessories and various kinds of desired handle operations and safety aspects which are required by DC application. Next. We have also seen that during installation, sometimes the mounting position in the switches becomes an issue. So we give the design multiple mounting options, multiple positions can be fitted. We also gave factory fitted auxiliary contacts into this with a potential free control circuit, because in DC it is very difficult to get accessories. Then castle lock provision is also there for further mechanical safeties. Door interlock facilities are available. If somebody wants to build a panel or openable doors, so it's a DC and the voltage levels are very high. So people require a lot of safeties, which we have provided before opening the door. And we have also realized that in termination, most of the competition is provided magnetic steel bolts. And when we were having the test facilities, we have compared and found that we have started using stainless steel non-magnetic fasteners for termination, and we found there is a great reduction in temperature rise of the product, which helps in long service into the application. Then this slide shows the complete range which we are producing. We are also developed the 3-pole and 4-pole version of 800 volts AC isolator also, which is required for solar application. And then the design consists of some arc-tooth plates inside, which helps in improving the electrical life, which I will be covering at the design level. Then our product is capable of line and load reversibility. I mean, there is no marking available, or we are not restricting the consumer to use in a particular type for line and load. So if any consumer wants to put line or load in any direction is possible. Apart from that, we have come out with certain USPs. That mounting position is adjustable. I mean, very easy at 3 positions. Consumer can use when he finds a difficulty in bus bars or cabling. Then we also gave a very sufficient terminal surface area, which is very high. In 1500 volt AC, we are giving a termination area of wide by 100 mm, which gives a very big relief in temperature rise and termination, and doesn't require extra mechanical supports for holding the cable load. As I conveyed earlier, we are providing non-magnetic hardwares, which I think no competition is providing, just to take the advantage of temperature rise and better service in the field. Factory fitted contacts are available. We are also giving current markings on the terminals, so that there is no, because in switchgear, in a common frame size, generally current ratings can be different for products which are inside different, but we are giving additional marking also, so that the person who is assembling the combiner box or a panel builder should not miss out. This is our old experience of AC load break switches or changeover switches, which we used to supply from last more than 20 years. Then this is the data sheet which we are providing with this product. I mean, very useful for designers or buyers to study the data and purchase the product as per this desired specifications. Then these are the type test sequence reports which we have taken from overseas with the help of Intertech. We send our products to overseas and get all these sequences done over there, and quite successfully we achieved the certification of this product. Partly a lot of tests were conducted in our laboratory also, as we have developed the facility. So we have the complete type test sequence 1, sequence 2, sequence 3 and sequence 4 for complete range of switches as per 60947 part 3. which is ideal for this kind of disconnector. Now I'll be showing you two small videos which will be explaining that we have a facility of doing the live testing here, and we are testing our products on regular basis. Apart from this, I also invite the customer or our consumers who are interested, and they are most welcome to factory to witness the testing of these switches or similar DC products in our laboratory, so that they get more confidence on the product or company itself. This is the testing of 250 amps 1500 volt disconnector. I mean, you can see earlier oscillogram was blank, and after test, this is the curve. So, which, I mean, we used to do continuous testing on this product. Now, next video is for 1000 volt DC switch. This is again a blank page. Testing will be done, and this is the result after testing. Apart from this, we have also developed this 32 amps 1500 volts fuse holder, and the specifications are: it is ideally suitable for 10 into 85 cylindrical HRC fuse length, suitable for DC application. We have also got the type test certification for this product from abroad also. The reference standard for this fuse holder is 60269 part 1. Next. These are the type test reports for fuse holders which we have tested outside. Next. And then these are some of our product categories for changeovers, auto transfer switches, manual switches, bypass switches. And we also do air circuit breakers, MCCBs, power contactors, overload relays, and fuse disconnectors. So we have complete range of low voltage side of switchgear for AC ratings also. So we can offer, any kind of products suitable for further applications for AC apart from these DCs. I mean, thank you very much having patience for going through these slides.
Thank you very much, Sharma sir, for such an informative presentation from your side. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite for the discussion on the key points which we have the key discussion points. Very first, I would like to invite SS Mishra sir from the NTPC. Being NTPC one of the largest IPP players in the solar utility categories, and having a huge application in so for solar disconnectors for both their combiner boxes and monitoring boxes. So I request SS Mr. Sir to put some your view about the fundamental uses, the applications, and how to selection criteria, and then further compliances and standards for the same. Sharma sir, Mr. Sir, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I am here with Mr. Srinidhi Sharma also. To me, prima facie, many people looks like these all elements and components are very simple, but this is where people do mistake also. The very component criticality is very high. Generally people think it like okay, this is ordinary switch or ordinary equipment, just like household lighting. But once you are handling the DC part, we should be very careful in deciding, careful in selection, careful in quality testing, checks, compliance of international standards or the national standards, what has been specified. Once you are handling DC part, so it is very important to understand the use percent and use a purpose, and then the criticality of the equipment, because it is directly linked with the generator. You can see
Right.
here there is no turbine and boiler, but
Exactly.
there is a direct generator is connected to the system. So the criticality of equipment, I don't know, many people may not be understanding to a greater depth who is not exposed to the field or not exposed to the operation and the detailed design of the component and equipment. But once you are into the and see the criticality and visualize the importance of this, probably this importance of this and a reputed provenness of the equipment, reputed company, definitely any developer IPP as a owner of the project and smooth running of the project is very critical. Some points I just wanted to highlight here. Subsequently, if there is more questions, Mr. Sridhar will take up. But some
Okay.
points, because once the size of the project and the module basically particularly going up, we feel a need for the size of the individual combiner box, what you say, SCV string combiner box. The size of the combiner box means the capacity wise. Say today,
Yeah, exactly.
probably we are handling hardly 300 kilowatts. So we should be able, if we have a technology, proven technology, if to handle more capacity, let's say 400 or maybe little more also. So that may help in reducing the LCOE of the project cost and the running also. Because once your concentration of DC capacity and the say capacity kilowatt capacity at a particular area reduces, the footprint also is reducing. The need for higher size of combiner box, like probably you were showing some 630 ampere and all for the DC switches. That is also
Right.
one of the requirement, I suppose, any EPC or any developer should think of. Today, I think mostly it is used is 400 ampere or so. If it is more higher ratings are available, that you can evaluate with our team or any with along with any developer the cost economics part, the how it is affecting or how it is saving, giving back some cost in return. Multiple say in terms of saving in the high power DC and in terms of saving of the number of combiner box also. So
Exactly.
this, to my mind, is coming some crucial aspect. The importance I have already told you, very critical equipment. Next part, of course, one good thing I was not knowing that you are also going for 800 volt switchgear. There are very
Right, sir.
limited supplier. They are very limited supplier, and particularly when you go for string inverters, that is becoming a critical element also. So that part, I suppose you might have tested it thoroughly with 800 volt system as a switchgear also, as a component also.
Right,
So
sir.
what is the delta testing part you have taken care in that? Because we are very few manufacturer and not a very good track record, and provenness of the system is also not very proven. So that is a good point. I have seen if you have already tested, you can share the test reports and the relevant and USP of your switchgear for 800 volt particularly. That is also very useful in that. So, and that too, again, I will just emphasize, must be knowing that is also connected directly to the inverters circuit. So that is also the criticality of
Yeah,
equipment. It is we should not forget it. It is not a simple switch gear. It is the switch
exactly,
gear
sir.
directly the generator part. So the element, the criticality of element here again, it is much higher. So the
Yes, sir.
reliability, redundancy, criticality, design aspect, it is definitely should be in a in that expectation from customer side. Our expectation is very high, and in this world of competition, it is more critical that when every paisa counts for, and it is competition is tough in solar industry per se, I will say. I will just say this, and I will take a leave from this. Mr. Srinidhi will be in that line. He already there. So if some
Okay,
more
sir.
debate and questions are there, he will take up further. Okay then. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for your valuable comments, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. On the design aspects for the solar combiner box or selection of switch gears in the solar combiner box or monitoring box, for the design aspects, we have Mr. Rajesh Tiwari sir with us, who is completely whole and soul into design of the utility scale plants or for the solar grid as well. So I would like to invite Sir Rajesh Tiwari sir to put some on the design aspects, the selection criteria, and how the compliance and the standards we should meet to get the desired output. What exactly Mr. Sir has told that the module rating has been changed, and some we are further increasing the capacity of the SCV from 300 kilowatt to higher size. So, Rajesh sir, please, some your opinion and your points and your inputs, please.
Yeah, thank you, Sivish. I'm audible clearly?
Yes, sir, very much clear.
Yeah. So thanks for inviting and thanks for Solar Quarter for organizing such a wonderful event. And thank you for Honorable Sarma Saab and SP Misra sir for explaining uh, uh, product detail and the future aspects about the requirement of the MCCBs and the disconnectors. Basically, as a developer, when I see, I am having a like you can say 1.5 gigawatt of asset. In that, almost starting with central inverter, I was there in you can say in industry the past 18 years. I am seeing the in particularly solar. You can say started in 2006 in Mojave and went Germany to brought the machinery. That time none of the people were using here, and they were able to design the solar. Even thermal industry was dominating this thing. So after that, people were realized that okay, we have to move into the renewable, and now everywhere is renewable only. RTC. People are thinking how to club it with hydro and how to club it with solar storage and how to club it with wind and a lot of things. So in the cost aspect, yes, I agree with Mishra sir. There can be, but the importance is that you required the complete value chain. So if you have to increase your SMB, so then the inverter input should be as also designed accordingly. You have to be ensured that the SMBs which are coming 24 input, if you increase with by 36 input, then the amount of current which you are going to feed into the inverter feeder, that also should be capable. This is one aspect. Actually, let me talk about the requirement of disconnectors. Basically, for my audience, I want to tell that this is the basically kind of uh, switch which protect your system. So once if you have a solar project in rooftop or either project in your ground mounted, so there are two type of disconnectors. One is AC and another is DC. If we talk about AC disconnector, that protect, that isolate your system from the grid. Basically, I am a solar plant, so I am generating the power, but I am not feeding the fault into the grid. I'm very because we have a 24% of CUF, and we are feeding power, you can say, in a 6 hour a day. So I am afraid from the grid. I have to protect myself from the grid. So this isolator, this disconnector, and even breakers, you can say the power breakers, you can say SF6 breakers, those helping us from protecting the grid. Another side, if we talk, like there is a DC disconnector. So DC disconnector switches, they protect our solar generation plant to our inverters, and either they can isolate in between. Now, basically, there is a ground fault. There may be a overload situation. There may be a overcurrent situation. So from those aspects, we protect our system with the disconnectors. Now, if we talk about gradually improving the scenarios, earlier there were thermal, now microprocessor based. Important is that in MCCBs, you have to see your ICU, your ICS, your ICM. Basically, these are the very critical parameters, and I appreciate about your GN Sarma sir told about the laboratory they are developing. I want to understand, like, the if you are testing the MCCBs and you are doing the type test, how you are measuring the current? Are you building the environment which is in the site condition? Because in the CPRI, I found people are giving at room temperature measurement, so that aspects is not there. If we talk about like 600 ampere MCCB, ampere MCCB, that may get derate at 90-degree temperature or 100-degree temperature. So at the temperature rise calculation is very important. Being a product developer, you are launching the product, but you same time you have to educate the LT panel, the person who is preparing the LT panel or who is preparing their enclosure, so that he should know about that what kind of air evacuation or ventilation system he has to maintain, what kind of, because this is the one of the major basically in DC side I saw, due to central inverter, a lot of in the DC assembly box, you will have thermal imaging, you will have DC disconnector switch complete rating, you will have proper, like, because you have a long history. But in the AC side, if we talk this 800 volt, this is very unfamiliar product. In non, you can say non-standard, basically, because the inverter supplier came with 800 volt and they have given us. So in 800 volt, there are only few suppliers, and in few suppliers, only one supplier can able to prove you the design aspects in terms of LT panel. So here my request will be to HPL, if you can able to develop that type of scenario which is actual in the Badla side or actual in the Rajasthan side. So that will, because you have to measure the temperature on the probe in the MCCB, in the terminal, in every points. So that things. Moving toward your breaker side. So actually, we have isolated our system from the breaker. So there is a load break switch requirement in our PV IDT areas. Breakers are different steps. You can say line bay, trafo bay, and then your ST panel. So there are breakers. Now there is a non-directional relay which can protect the fault which is coming from the upper side. Load break switch is the good development, and also we are using it. That basically may require the you can say the type test and further improvement, because people are using breaker always mostly. These are the things which I wanted to tell you. Apart this, basically in the development side, the module aspects which you told, bifacials, they have a current higher, but okay, for that you have to see the inverter points which is required. So over to you, Sivesh, now.
Thank you very much, sir, for the information and guidelines. Coming to the point about the temperature which we maintain, the testing facility. Basically, so all the solar products which we are manufacturing at our facility, either it is SCB, SMBs. So we have a temperature rise testing facility in house, where we have a we have a chamber where we maintain the ambient temperature of 50 degree, and in that particular condition we maintain the site condition as per the ambient which we get from in the RFQs and the design of what we get from the developer side or IPP side. So we maintain an ambient of 50 degree. Sometimes it is 45 degree, but mostly it is at 50 degree. So at that particular ambient, we test our products in our lab. Then we get the entire results for the component wise. We note down all the temperature rise inside the enclosure, either it is terminal temperature of the switch, either it is temperature of the fuse link, fuse holder, either it is a bus bar, so cables, SPDs. So we note down all the temperatures as per the ambient temperature of approx 50 degree. And as per the test maximum test current of as per the ISC which we receive from the customer side. So as per that particular condition, we do test all our equipments in our lab. So that's the thing. Uh, from our side.
Uh, Fine. I think basically there my concern is we are not, as a developer also, we don't have facility to measure the actual temperature outside due to global warming, or either you can say day by day the temperature is increasing. And even inverters, the inverters are designed into different temperatures. Their output is at 50 degree somehow rated output, and then they are capable to inject 10 or 15% higher at 40 degree, or then 25 degree percent higher than at 30 degree. Your inverters are kept into the shelter or near inside, you can say there maybe the temperature or low air can blow, but your LT panels are kept into the platform, and that platform may have a different temperature scenario. So that actual temperatures, I would request if it's the kind of site basically scenario you can able to develop and see that how the temperature, because ultimately you are the product supplier. I my
Yeah.
request will be, don't refer the RFQ, don't refer to the sorry to say, but there are requirement to further test and then believe on this.
Right, sir.
Rajesh, I have a point to make. As you
Sure.
suggested about the temperature and temperature rise into the box, where the circulation of air is almost not there
Right,
because
sir.
you have to seal the box. So
Yes.
that definitely we will take care. Apart from this, I would like to tell that these disconnector switches, as per IC 60947 part 2, the mechanical life and electrical life is 200 operations, and mechanical life is 1000 operations, means 800 plus 200, 1000 operations. As
Okay.
far as our product is concerned, since we have developed the facility testing in house, we are now claiming, as per our catalog, a total life of switch 3000 operations, out of which electrical life 1000 operations we will be guaranteeing it. Instead of
Okay.
200 operations, we will be guaranteeing 1000 operations in one switch, which will give longer life to a consumer if he buys our product. And
Okay.
when we have developed it just now, we had been asking these questions from various competitors, since we are manufacturing the combiner boxes and buying the product from various manufacturers. We were asking what more you can provide, electrical life or temperature. Majority of salespeople are silent. As you said, the temperature. They said, this is the reports we have, and this is the data sheet, and beyond that, we are not able to commit anything, because the source of development and manufacturing of that product is outside India. And people who are selling the product in India, they are non-committal about any performance of the product.
Right.
Whereas in our case, we have developed the product in India, and now we are proudly claiming that we are claiming such a big life and giving good service. I mean, since you said the temperature part, definitely I will look into it, and we will see that we give further better product to market, so that these kind of conditions taken over. Apart from that, as I explained in my presentation, that for termination of these switches, we have provided non-magnetic hardware, which is much higher than a simple hardware. It's a very simple item, but it contributes a lot in reducing the temperature rise in the switch.
Right, right.
So you get a healthy system. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, further moving ahead, I would like to request Sushil sir about the since Sushil sir has been to the procurement part from last long time, and we are also associated with him from such a long time. And so, sir, strategies what you follow, and this will for the selection of switchgears for the your string combiner boxes, because you are the one of the major players in the market as of now, and you have been in past couple of years the major user of string combiner boxes, and we have already gone through our product data sheets and the presentation which has been presented by Sharma sir. So I request you, please, your opinion, your view, and your strategies for buying and selection for these switches. Sushin sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, because Rajesh ji and Sharma Saab has given a very right input. One is the Rajesh ji has touched upon the developer side, and Shivesh and Sharma Saab has explained on the product side what are the technical aspects available. And when talking to the commercial aspect, yes, one has to follow the RFP, RFQ, and followed by the real pain area on the side. And it is a good thing which we have found, and during our in-person visits or during our in technical discussions, and found out, because the major strength area as a commercial aspect, if we look at, is the manufacturer who have a strength in terms of a backward integration and have a testing facilities, because many of the time the product are available in the market when we talk about any disconnector switch or string combiner boxes or string magnetic boxes. But what you find and see is like the testing facility has to be adequate enough, because one, as the testing equipments plays a very important role, because factory tested is an important. But yes, as Rajesh has mentioned, that on-field performance, because ambient temperature rise or this is going above what we anticipate. Sometimes it can be higher than a 50-degree, or even higher than that. That's the one aspect. Yes, that's very valid question is. But having an association with FPL since with O2 as well as in the previous assignments as well. So important is the product reliability and product capability in terms of technical solution support. Be it although our discussion is limited to this disconnect switch, but be it a plant lighting, because whatever product we have, I have come across and found like HPL is manufacturing in their in-house. So the strength they have is their in-house testing laboratories, and so that is a main strength area, be it DC cables or it be it plant lighting and switches. So yes, testing facilities are important. Yes, and important is, as Sharma has touched upon, like the warranty or life. So which is also good, like as he's talking about that 1,000 tap cycles or is the product life cycle. So that is important from the developer side, and that's all. Like if there is any questions, so can be welcome for further discussion.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your inputs. From the developers, from the developer end, I request Sushil sir and Rajesh sir both. So, I refer to the all the presentation what we have shared and the data we have shared. So, if any inputs available, inputs required from side apart from that temperature calculations and selection of switchgear and the commercial aspects as well. And some more discussions about the compliances and the standards what we are following, and also on the service part. I request what exactly the service you required and what type of service you require on the field side, and what the problems you are facing as of now from the switch aspects. So would like to know the same as well. So we will try to we will overcome with the in our earlier stage. So please a few points, Rajesh sir and Sushil sir.
So, no, from my side, actually, I explained you about the DC disconnector switch. There are very like the technologies are well matured, and even the laboratories are set up. So you have good tools to measure and to take the validation of the product. And in the DC side, AC side, that I told you about the development on MCCBs if you can, and even in isolators like 800-volt isolators. So those basically required on-field testing environment, and the kind of compliances which is definitely there. IC 60497. So that is okay from my side. Uh, right. Yes, Sushil, if you can add.
Yeah, that's all. Like because technical aspect and certifications are important aspect, but yes, always we always as a commercial aspect we always try to look at the product backed by some guarantees or something like because many of the product offered by HPL as on today are backed by the performance guarantees, and that's a good part because one is the uh, on field testing is also important. So that when performance related warranties are supported by any product, so that is always welcome.
Thank you, sir, for your inputs. Now, we have Srinidhi from NTPC. Sir, I would like to know your inputs about the switch disconnectors. What exactly the current market shifting is going on? Like on some earlier, it was market is on 400 amps. So now coming due to the infusion module size and fuse ratings, so it is further expanding to the 500 and 630 amps. So, what exactly the planning of NTPC and what exactly the coming market shall be there for the switch disconnector?
Yeah, thank you, Shivesh. So Mishra sir has left for another meeting, so I'll be joining on his behalf. Now, coming to the question, see what is happening is previously we were getting a 330 watt peak module, and now one second. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so previously we were getting a 330 watt peak module, and the DC sizing was completely different. However, now we are getting a 540 watt peak module, and also we are with the recently awarded NOC project, wherein we have completely designed the project on a bifacial with tracker. So the DC side capacity is increasing, and as Mishra sir mentioned in his initial remarks, we want that if possible, the industry can come up with a bigger string combiner box size, and maybe we can increase this 400 amps to 500 or 630. Of course, it should be backed by proper testing, and it should be a reliable product, because what is happening is there the scope left for cost optimization is very, very less now after the modules. There are not many options left for a developer or an EPC or an IPP to kind of optimize on the cost. So what is happening is the inverter size 3.125 megawatt inverter has become kind of a prevalent in the last few years. 5 megawatt did come, but it did not really take off as was expected in the market. So I think new inverter sizes would be coming, but with the tracker, what is happening is the DC AC ratio has reduced to around 1.2 and 1.25. So previously, when people were going with a fixed tilt kind of a system, the DC capacity was 1.4 and 1.5 times the AC times, and that was the DC AC ratio which people were considering in the project. But if you are considering a tracker today with a bifacial, then the DC loading has come down, even though the overall solar profile has improved a little bit. But coming to the disconnector points, that is our request to the market, our request to the OEMs would be to, if possible, can we get a product wherein I can pull in more power, because what is happening these days, because of the increase in the commodity prices, the cost of the DC power cable is having a huge impact on my overall project cost. So if there's a possibility of reducing that DC power cable by increasing my size of the string combiner box, and that is entirely dependent on the DC disconnector which we have. If that can be offered by the market, then there's again one more area where the cost can be optimized, and we'll be having a better optimized product at a very competitive LCOE. Because as per my interactions with my EPC players right now, NTPC is offering full flexibility to our EPC players to design and optimize the plant in an EPC mode, and whatever mode suits them, they can offer that the string combiner box with the DC disconnector, the fuse holders, the SPD devices, and everything. But when what is happening is now we are moving to a different philosophy where we would be designing the whole project, whole plant in house, and we would be dividing the project into a BOS a separate and a module separate. So when we are doing that, then we need those kind of inputs from the OEMs like HPL and other manufacturers who are into the component manufacturing, so that how we can optimize this the overall size of the project and increase the reliability, and at the same time, if possible, we can reduce the overall capex and and reduce the LCOE of the project. So we are in touch with most of the manufacturers, and we'll be more than happy to seek your inputs. How more what more should we add to our specifications so that the systems are reliable and still we are competitive, and as a whole the whole industry grows, and we get an optimized product.
So input, I request Sharma sir if he can, if it applies the how we can, what the specification we can get it added, additional specification for the special with the aspects of that can be inserted with the aspects of push disconnector, like operation cycle and heating factors like that.
We have already tested the load break disconnector at 630 amps also. And as far as the cost optimization in long term is concerned, that I'm claiming a life which is 5 times higher than the standard. So that is also a added advantage for the consumer. And we have a solution available that I'm giving the links in such a fashion that if some you know combiner box manufacturer wants to really work with us, we can help him in reducing the various kinds of links which are supplied by the. I mean, if somebody I have to use the uh, disconnector switch of a competition, I have to use the extended bus bars or extended links to connect the cable and as well as to connect the various kinds of loads coming from various multiple panels. So in my switch, if I can show you a demo where we have avoided the use of a bus bar in the combiner box, which can really help in reducing the cost if somebody wants to use this product. So I'll just show a glimpse. Just a minute. Ah, 11.
So, sir, you are offering a complete solution along with the switch disconnector. You are offering
It's
a
a
complete
card
string
solution.
combiner
It's
box.
a card solution. Yeah. If you use a competitor product, you have to use a long bar,
Yes, yes,
and then you
yes,
have
yes.
because they hardly give any copper material. I am
Correct.
giving this link which is 100 wide, where consumer can do drilling and use these
Hmm.
various string cables and connect positive and negative and save that cost. And I'm giving a lot of extra shields and barriers so that for a safety aspect when you open the panel accidentally the voltage is high. So which you can check in the market, a lot of competitions are not giving at all. So they simply sell their switch, and we are trying to sell the switch with some added advantage so that consumer is benefited and the cost of the entire box can get reduced if required.
Yes, sir. That's great to hear. What is happening, sir? Because of the cost competitiveness, people are kind of ignoring some aspects, some technical aspects, and that is affecting the life of the string combiner box, and then also the generation is being affected for the project.
Absolutely. Apart from this, the purpose of this development, when we took and we did a lot of testing. I'm from the last 2 years, I had been testing these products on various conditions, and I am also a user of various competition. So I realized a lot of gaps into these, and then when we design the product, then we take care of these aspects and try to help consumer in the getting the right product. Our aim is, I'm not saying we are here for business, but our aim is that we do business with some kind of customer help, with pride, support, so that I mean we are able to give better service and better product to the market. So these are the certain things, and whatever inputs I am getting through this webinar, I'm sure we will keep working on improving these products. And I mean, I can proudly say, probably we were the only Indian manufacturer who has taken this challenge and come out with a solution and building a laboratory inside the factory. I mean, testing a product is a big problem for 1500 volts switch here in India, because there is no facility available. You have to send the product to outside, abroad, for verification. And for verification, you must be sure that whatever you have produced will work in the certification laboratory. Otherwise, how can you send? That's a simple wastage of money. Yeah. That's all.
And Srinidhi sir, I would like to add a few more lines. So we are already into manufacturing of SCVs and assembly from last 3-4 years in the utility categories, and we are already having supply credential of approx 6 gigawatt of projects in SCVs and assemblies, and approx 1.1 1.5 gigawatt is under production for the SCVs and assemblies, and other 3-4 gigawatt is in pipeline. So we are already into this market from last couple of years. So on the basis of that experience, we plan to develop our components. So we have DC disconnector has been completely developed, and which is well to do on the mass scale and for application for SCVs, and fuse holder recently come up. So all the type test has been done for the same as well. So very soon that shall be also available commercially for our SCVs and SMBs applications. So that was the main agenda for developing the switch disconnector, because we are having experience of last 3 years with mostly all the developers and all the IPPs we have worked with Sushil sir. We have worked a lot in these categories, and with other players, even in NTPC projects we have supplied. So that's the credentials. On the basis of that experience, we plan to develop our own components, since we are already into solution category. So why not our own components and with that once, since we are already switchgear manufacturers and we are having so wide range of AC side. So why not into DC side? Once we have already a market portfolio for this category, and so it will be by which we can get better prices, better solutions, and better service and better warranties on that aspect. So that's why we plan to develop this one. So with the supports of all the developers IVPs, we have come up with these categories, and very soon that will be in the full fledged will be used in the SAVs. We will propose our own switches and as fuses in the upcoming projects, since we have already done our all the testings and all. So definitely we will come on a bulk scale, mass scale now. So that's the thing. I think we are done with discussion now. So now moving ahead, I would move for the Q&A session, which is from the attendees and from if any questions from the panelists as well. So please, all the attendees and panelists, we are moving ahead for the Q&A session. So questions, please. So we have a few questions in our chat box. We have a question from Abhijit Singh Parmar. My question: what are the major derating factor apply for selection of rating disconnector? I request.
The answer to this question is that uh, when the switchgear is completely enclosed in any panel, and then there is a temperature from ambient, especially in summer areas where you know the summer is very high and temperature keeps on going. There are two three types of elements which creates problem. One is the load, electrical load carried by the cables, and then outside temperature, and then transfer of temperature of outside the surface of the enclosure to inside, and there is no circulation of air. So, I mean, the switch should be capable of taking care of these kind of rated currents, and yet keeping a gap of temperature rise so that it can do a better service and do the needful. So this is the reason for this. And care, again, one has to be very very specific about the joints uh, done inside the switchboard. Apart from this, one has to use the proper adequate tested cross sections of copper bus bars which are used, and cable sizes has to be very proper, and only things. And then in enclosures where you can use some certified IP protected vents which can help in releasing some kind of recirculation of air. These are the things. Of course, at switchgear level, we do keep an ample margin in these products. The allowed standard limit is very high, which is 70 degrees in the fresh switch, and 80 degrees in the switch which has done a lot of electrical life and some kind of faults. So we try to certify the product which is having a temperature rise less than 50 degree or so. So we keep a margin of pretty good margin of 20-30 degrees centigrade, so that in spite of all these conditions which work very well. So this is our approach of handling it. And if the conditions are further worse, the right approach is to go for a higher version of switch. That's all.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for your inputs. I request for the next question, please. Is it sufficient to do 20% safety factor selection of DC main switch? Do you have Rajesh here?
As far as our switch is concerned, if 20% safety means you are using a switch of 400 amps and your current carrying is say about 320 or 330, something like that, our switches should perfectly pass without any hesitation, even in enclosed condition. Should not be a problem, provided the size of the cable which is used inside, I mean the system, is adequate without any difficulty.
I hope the question is clear from our side. So I request for the next question, please.
As far as my point of view is concerned, uh, any disconnector, whether it is manufactured by HPL or manufactured by somebody else, is meant for switching of power supply on and off. It doesn't provide a disconnector switch doesn't provide a protection. So personally or on behalf of HPL, I would I would suggest that we should use uh, fuses as a safety device. Otherwise, it can lead, if we don't use any protection, it can lead to problem, and the system will not give you a durable and longer serviceable system. There will be a problem if any fault comes, and in solars and DC application, surges and so many other things keeps coming. So it is better to use fuses always.
Uh, I because he has mentioned nowadays some of the EPC players are going to remove fuses. But as far as my knowledge, so fuse is the very first point of safety contact. So I don't think it is being removed. Social sir, please.
For design temperature
So
consideration. Generally, the IC 947s, where the different testings and certification of a product is done, they recommend a ambient temperature of 40 degrees, and this, and we, as a switchgear company having quite a good experience, we believe in designing these switchgears uh, for a temperature of 50-degree ambient. That is our internal. But as far as standard is concerned, standard is silent above 40 degree. So we do take care of the designs at 50 degree. So this is the answer to this question.
Any more questions, please?
Well, the answer to your query is, if you require couple of pieces, is very very short, couple of days. If you have a bulk supply, couple of weeks. Now, since this product is made in India, all the components, all the raw materials used in this product are available in India. So we can satisfy your delivery requirements very very quickly, without any issues.
Thanks for the reply, sir. Now we are moving for the closing notes. So I hand over the session to Twinkle for first view. Please.
So, thank you very much, all our esteemed panelists, for this wonderful session. A very special thanks to Sivesh sir for superbly managing the session. You were absolutely outstanding as the moderator. So, with this, we have come to the end of the webinar. Thank you, all the attendees, for joining us today, and we promise you to come back soon with more exciting topics. Till then, bye from our end, and the floor is now open for networking. Thank you.
Your kind cooperation and attending us